Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, Must Love Labs. My name is Alan. On this channel we talk about tips and tools for how to raise, breed, and sell Labrador Retrievers as quality family pets. So if you're new here, you might consider subscribing. In today's video we're going to do our first live stream. I'm pretty excited about this. I guess we'll see how it goes. So I'm kind of new at it too, so bear with me and let me make all my new guy mistakes. But I've got a list of recent questions that everybody's been asking on the channel. So we're going to go through and answer some of them. We're going to do some dog breeder Q&A and answer questions that you folks have been asking on the channel. And that's always something that I thought was pretty cool that other folks do. And so I want to do some of that too. So we're going to go with that. And we'll let a few people pop into the channel here and see how it populates, and we'll get started on these questions. Let's see here. All right, well, first question we've got is comes from Andrea, and she asks, I'm reading, I printed out a list of questions here, and Andrea asks, she says, thanks for the video. I have questions about microchips. You mentioned to microchip your dogs. Does this include the ones in the litters as well, or just the ones you use for breeding, for the breeding program? We definitely microchip all the dogs that are in our breeding program. As far as microchipping the litters, some breeders do that, some don't. In the past, we've talked about microchipping dogs that go on planes for the same reason that you microchip your regular breeder dogs, the ones that are in your program and the ones that are pets and living around your house, and all for the same reason. It's the only way you can really prove it's your dog. If ever an ownership issue pops up, if your dog gets lost or stolen, or if it ends up in a pound, or animal control gets a hold of it, or somebody takes it to a vet to try to find out whose dog it is, the microchips are the way to go. They used to do it with tattoos before microchips, but with microchips it's dramatically better than trying to go the tattoo route, which you can still do, by the way. But microchips allow the dogs to be easily identified, and oftentimes if there's an ownership dispute, it really is the only recourse that the authorities have to go with. That's why I've considered doing it with all my puppies. We're thinking about going mainstream with that, with Livy's first litter, and just microchipping all the pups as a rule here at the kennel. But currently we've been doing it with all the dogs in the breeding program, all my adult dogs, and any dogs that are going to stay here get microchipped. And I have been doing dogs that fly on a plane for sure, because once they get on a plane and go, who knows what's going to happen at the airport when they land. Probably nothing, but if something does happen, it sure would be nice if the animal control person could just wave a scanner over that dog and find out whose dog it is real quick. So, hope that helps. Great question, by the way. Let's see here. All right, Amanda writes in, and she says, we are beginning our breeding program with Goldens and have 2 females. My husband and I can't decide if it's better to get our own male or go with a stud to start off. What do I suggest to get going? Well, that great question. You got a couple of females and they're ready to go. If they're old enough and they've passed all of their health clearances and you're ready to get started with the breeding process, and you just don't have a stud, then there's plenty of breeders out there that have stud dogs that are available for stud service, and that would be one way to get you going right away. You'd have to go find one, and you do the same breeder research as you do when you're buying a dog. Find somebody that's got a stud that you like and that they're advertising a stud service, and communicate with those people. And there's a timing issue. They're going to have to work with the timing of your females. There's going to be someone's going to have to collect the sample. Vets usually handle that. It'll be a couple $100 to do that, and they'll have to ship it to your vet. A couple more $100 for your vet to do artificial insemination. So a couple $100 on each end, real rough numbers, plus some shipping. Somebody that's got a stud that's available for stud service, a lot of times they'll advertise this right on their website, and they're already used to doing it. They're already familiar with the process, and they can help you through that and give you dollar amounts and whatnot. It's all negotiable, by the way, when you go to talking money. A reasonable stud fee is roughly 10% of what's expected to come from the litter. So if you're going to, just for mathematic purposes, if you're going to have a dog that usually has 10 puppies and your puppies sell for $2,000 a piece, well, 10% of that's going to be $2,000. That's a reasonable stud fee. If you're going to have 8 dogs, 8 puppies, and they sell for $1,000 a piece, that's $8,000. So $800 is going to be 10% of that litter. That's a reasonable stud fee. Some stud breeders will want pick of the litter instead of cash. Some of them will want a fixed amount. They're going to charge you $1,000 for stud service or $1,500 for stud service, and it doesn't matter really what your dogs are going to be selling for. That's just the fee that they want. So this is all negotiable, and you can just talk to them and work it out. And once you get it worked out, then you get your vets involved, and your veterinarian that's going to do the artificial insemination can help you out with that process and go over it with you ahead of time so that everybody's ready for what's going to happen and how it's going to play out. Or you can do what I do and have a resident stud dog. Now, if you're wanting to get going right away, that would mean that you would have to go out and find an adult dog. Probably if you're wanting to get going right away, you're going to be better off finding somebody that's selling a stud service. I like having a resident stud dog myself. The girl dogs like having him around. He's also my friend. He's my farm dog. He's the one that keeps all the wildlife at bay out here. Whenever we have, he enforces my no trespassing policies with raccoons and possums, other dogs, people's cows, coyotes, whatever. He handles all that, and everybody likes him for it. He's also the guy that my UPS guy doesn't want to get out of his truck until I put him up. So, and that's what you get when you get a good-sized male dog. Now, a lot of people's males aren't going to be that big if you're dealing with a smaller breed, but you get the point. He's not tying up space in the kennel, space that a female could occupy, because the females are in a business environment. The females are the money makers, more so than the males. He's not tying up space in a kennel. I got plenty of room for him. I like having him around. They like having him around. All the dogs here at Must Love Labs are pets, and we also breed them. So having my own resident stud dog works out good for me. But that's a long game. You're going to have to wait till he's old enough to breed, and then go from there. Genetic testing and so forth. If you're looking for something real fast, then you're going to want to find somebody to help you with a donor and some artificial insemination. Hope that helps. Folks, if we're just meeting, by the way, my name is Alan, and Must Love Labs is the channel. We talk about tips and tools for how to raise, breed, and sell Labrador Retrievers as quality family pets. That's what we do here. And if you want to support our channel, we've got a Teespring store. I'll put a link in the description of this after it uploads to YouTube. And you guys can stop by and check out a t-shirt or a hoodie or a coffee mug like this one. And we appreciate you doing that in advance. I also put links in the descriptions to my videos to products that we use and approve of here at Must Love Labs. Feel free to check that out as well. All right, let's see here. Blue the White Wolf writes in and says, hello, my mom and I are going to be breeding German Shepherds and I would like to know if I should make an outside place for only the puppies to play, and what age can the puppies meet the dad? All right. Well, should you make an outdoor place for the puppies to play? Absolutely. That's a great idea. I've got 2 such places here at my place, and I'm raising Labradors, so the dogs are born right here in my house. One of my videos I talked about the whelping box on a budget, and you can see my setup right there. I show you how to do it. It's pretty simple, and it works, and you can do it right in your living room. The dogs are going to get to be, the puppies will get to be about 2 weeks old. Their eyes will open up, and they'll start romping around. And somewhere between the end of 2 weeks, the middle of 3 weeks, somewhere right in there, they're going to be ready to start going outside, weather permitting. And having a place right outside the door is great for that. And if you can't do that, then wherever. I'm using my front yard. It's got puppy-type fencing. The puppies can start going outside. And here's the thing, make sure mama dog is with them. Okay, she needs to stay with them. She's going to deal with anything that comes up, including misbehavior on the behalf of her puppies, okay? This is where she starts her parenting. She'll get outside, she'll start teaching them how to play. They'll be romping around. She'll teach them how to be nice to each other. You'll see them putting her mouth around them, and you'll think, what is she doing? Is she biting that dog or what? No, she's teaching the dog about how to not bite so hard that it hurts. That's what that's about. And anything that comes in the yard that might bother your puppies, be it a snake or a cat or some other whatever, mama dog needs to be right there to handle that. So the puppies can go outside into a play space, and mama dog needs to be with them. And truthfully, you should be with them too. I wouldn't let any of these guys outside unsupervised. Not yet. They'd be too young at that point. Now, if you watch my videos, you'll know that when my Labrador puppies get to be 4.5, 5 weeks old, they're big enough, and the litters are usually at least 8 puppies. So I've got a big rowdy crowd of puppies in my house, and they're outgrowing my living room is what's going on. They're Labrador puppies. They're starting to get big. And there's a big crowd of them, and they're getting rowdy, and they're outgrowing my living room. So we've got a puppy habitat out in my kennel that we take them out to along about week 5. It's a bigger space. It used to be a shop that I've converted into a puppy habitat. It's climate controlled. It's got a stereo. Yeah, it's not bad. I hang out there quite a bit myself, actually. But they go out there. And same thing, one of the doors opens up, you've probably seen it in my videos, and it lets out into a puppy yard. A 5-foot high fence that nothing can get through. It's got pavers around the bottom so nobody can dig out. And it's a controlled situation for puppies. And same thing, mama dog gets to go out there with the dogs and do parenting and teach them how to play and how to be dogs, basically. And you can also go out there and spend time with them in either one of those situations and start getting your puppies used to being handled, teaching them about bite inhibition, because they don't have hands or anything, so they check out everything with their mouth, and they got a mouthful of needles, just, the creator gives puppies that. So they're going to be clamping down on you and stuff. And this is when you gently but firmly, take their mouth off of you and tell them no. And you do this over and over, and they learn through repetition that they can't be clamping down on humans. And this way, in conjunction with what the mama dog is teaching them, they learn about better behavior so that when you sell puppies to people, you don't hand them a little alligator that's going to chew them up as soon as it gets back to the house. So these puppy play areas are great for that. 3 times a day is great for exercising puppies, gives you a chance to clean out the kennel while they're outside. If you have help with this, that's perfect, because then you don't have to leave them unattended. When they're first 6 weeks or so, you can't leave them unattended. After that, they can on a limited basis with their mom in tow. Hope that helps with that. Now, you also asked at what age the puppies could meet dad. I usually wait until their eyes are open so they can see the world and see what's going on. They're already going to meet him through smell. their nose is going to tell them that he's around. And then their eyes are going to open up and they can see him. And then lastly, their ears will start to work and they can even begin to hear these things. That's the order in which that goes. First they get their nose, then they get their eyes, then they get their ears. Mama dog controls who gets to meet the puppies and who doesn't. The only time I've ever seen my dog Sam run from anything was when he got too close to Rosie's puppies when they were too young, and she made a noise that sent him running down the hall. And I've seen that dog stand up to a 600-pound bull, but Rosie sent him running down the hall with a growl. So there you go. And a week later, she would walk away and leave him playing with those puppies. So Mama dog's in charge of that, and she'll let you know whether or not she's comfortable with anybody being around those puppies. And you want to trust her judgment on that because she knows what's best for her puppies. She really does. She's going to let you handle them from the very beginning. That's not an issue because you're the alpha, not her. Dad coming around, let her be the judge of that. You'll see him coming around a little bit more as the weeks go by. He'll get more and more interested, and she'll get less and less interested in keeping him away. And he can gradually move in and meet them whenever she's ready for them to meet. She'll let you know. Hope that helps. Let's see here. Zafar Yassin wrote in and he said, a great video, keep up the hard work, and thank you, and you're welcome. How much time do you have to dedicate on the dogs? Well, I'm going to break that into two different conversations because there's adult dog time and then there's puppy dog time. When you've got puppies around, I sanitize my kennel space wherever they're at, whether they're in the house or later out in my kennel. No less than 3 times a day, we change out bedding and go in with a mop that's got Pine Sol, which kills any germ it touches. So we sanitize their living space, whether it's the whelping box or the kennel floor out in my shop. I don't even use bare concrete floors. I use a larger piece of linoleum because concrete is actually semi-porous and linoleum is not, so you can sanitize it. There's a tip for you, by the way. But anyways, back to your question about time. About a half an hour cleanup, 3 times a day minimum, more if you have more messes. And then at least that much time yet again, socialization time. Sitting down with the puppies and handling them and playing with them and interacting with them. So about an hour and a half, at least an hour, we'll call it an hour, 3 times a day, 7 days a week for puppies. So that's 21 hours a week just on puppies, and you can plan on that. There'll be some days when it'll be less. There'll be other days when it'll be more. They're going to have to operate on your schedule. That's how that works. But if you want to take good care of them, you can plan on about 3 hours a day for puppies between cleaning and socialization time. And you don't want to skimp on either one of those. You want to make sure everything stays sanitary, and you also want to spend plenty of time with these dogs. Otherwise, they won't be properly socialized to humans when it's time to sell them, and that'll be a mistake. So there you go. So about 20 hours a week on puppies. Now then, with your adult dogs, as much time as you want to give them, dogs need to go for walks 20 minutes a day, 2 or 3 times a day is what's recommended, 20 minutes to a half an hour. People like Caesar Milan will tell you that 20 minutes is a joke. It should be way longer than that. And then other people spend all their time with their dogs, and maybe that's a little bit too much, but they're going to have to work with your comfort level, that's for sure, and your schedule. So your adult dogs are going to get probably another hour of your time every day. And now this can be incorporated with puppy time or your exercise time. So if it's time for you to exercise, if you need to go for a run or go for a walk or do whatever it is you do to exercise, take your dogs with you. you know, and then you can incorporate that into your schedule that way. So 20 hours a week or so for puppies, and probably 10 to 15 hours a week for your regular dogs between exercise time and play time. And some of that can be when you're winding down in the evening and watching TV or whatever. They can be hanging out, you know, chasing a ball around the living room or whatever. You can find ways to make it work in your life. That's a rough idea on the time, but I think you start to get the picture. Having the pets is a time commitment, and raising puppies is another time commitment. And you really should, everybody should actually ask themselves before they get started whether or not they're willing to give that time to their pets and to their pets' puppies. Hope that helps. Let's see here. All right, I wonder if there's questions going on in the chat. Nope, don't see any questions happening. Okay. Well, we'll take a look at Toon Creole had asked, somebody from New Zealand. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. But this person is in New Zealand, I guess, NZ. Watched all your videos on breeding so far. Wanted to know what you can do to make sure that puppies go to a good home. Wait, I want to hold that question. I want to address this one first. How can I tell if my lab puppy will have a boxy head or not? Dylan Boyle had asked that. A boxy head or not? Take a look at the parent dogs. That'll tell you what your puppies are going to look like. Yep. If you're just buying one for the first time, it's really important to take a look at what the parents look like. You can fully expect these puppies to look just like their parents, or a blend between the two. So if you're looking specifically for a dog that's going to have a boxy head, then get one from a litter that the parents have boxy heads, and that'll be about as safe as a bet as you can get with that. Hope that helps. Okay, this other question. How do I make sure the puppies are going to go to a good home? What are some appropriate buying questions or processes you can ask that won't offend your buyers? A lot of different approaches to this. Some breeders actually have an application that they ask their customers to fill out and actually make them apply for one of their puppies. I don't know about that. I mean, do that if you want to. I wouldn't be comfortable with that personally, but I know plenty of them do. What we do here at Must Love Labs, and that's one of the things, by the way, folks, I try not to get too involved in what other people are doing so much as, because you can debate that all day. There's 1,000 different ways to do these things. I talk about what I'm doing and what works for me, and you can use that information to help you with your decisions. I think that's the best approach. And what we do here is we engage buyers in a polite conversation about the breed. I ask them if they have dogs. Have they ever had one of these breeds before? Are they aware of the activity levels? Do they visit a vet with their pets regularly? Do they have a fenced yard or access to a park? All of these are leading questions to get a conversation going about dog ownership. And throughout the course of a polite conversation with somebody that you really don't know, you can get a feel for where they're at with pet ownership, and then decide whether or not that's a good fit for your puppies. Trust your instincts on this, okay? If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. And use your best judgment. We also use Google Maps. We take a look ourselves at the address where the puppies are going to see if it fits the description that the buyer gave us. A lot of people worry about resellers, people that pretend to be somebody that wants to bring in a family pet, but then they're going to turn around and resell your dog. People worry about that, and keep your prices up. Okay, charge what everybody else is charging for these dogs, and then nobody's going to try to buy them cheap from you and resell them. That's my best advice for that, and ask plenty of questions about pet ownership. A lot of times these resellers won't really know very much about owning pets. They don't keep them. So anybody that wants to jump straight to money in the deal and then start telling you how to run your business, they're usually running a business of their own, and that's the only reason they're talking to you. And if somebody starts talking to you that way, then just, stop talking to them. That's what I do. I don't let anybody tell me how to run my business. You can smell these people a mile away. 30 seconds into the conversation, they're talking price, and they're going to tell you that they're going to have somebody come pick the dog up, their agent or whatever, and they're telling you how they're going to pay you and all these things. It's like, no. You need to stop telling me what to do, okay? Yeah, because they're just going to resell your dog. And when you get somebody talking to you that way, it's okay to just hang up on them. That's what I do. Okay. I think I saw a question pop up. Got to figure out how to look at them here. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see where it goes. Let me see. All right, well, this is my first live stream, folks. I can't figure out how to look at the messages, so I'll have to read them and get back to you in another video. Let's see. Yep, we'll see where that goes. Anyways, thanks for checking out our first live stream. I hope you got value from it. If you did, please hit that like button, and you definitely want to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. We will be doing more videos on this topic and others. And thanks for watching Must Love Labs. We'll see you in the next video.